Hi, this is Allie with the Tap Music, and I'm here with the Spring Standards, and we are going to be just discussing some of their upcoming shows, how they got started, and what their sound is like.
Definitely. I'm James, and we're the Spring Standards. It's James.
Hello.
Say a fun fact.
And
fun fact.
Fun fact about us is...
About you.
Oh, about me, is that I don't often come to Manhattan, and I'm here in Central Park, and it's beautiful.
Fun fact about me is that James gave me this flower, and he's my boyfriend now.
We are officially together because of it.
We're together. We're not really together.
It's not really true.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I despise him.
That's gross. A fun fact about me is that I stopped biting my nails, but now I'm starting to bite them again, I think. How's that fact?
Beaver. Yeah.
So how did you guys get started, and how did you come up with the name?
We did the hard part first. We became like good friends.
It was hard.
It was really tough. And then sort of worked backwards from there. We played some music when we were in high school because we were deep friends. We've been friends for over 10 years.
We used to hang out a bunch at James Clear's house when we were younger, and his family lived on Cold Springs Drive. And so when we were coming up with a band name, we decided that we wanted something that sort of harkened back to those days, something that reminded us of our roots and kind of where we came from. So we kept the word spring from the street name, and then we just spent like an entire day being like spring, blah, spring this, spring, blah, and hating everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing we said. And the Spring Standards was the first thing where we like stopped and all, like nobody said, I hate it!
Yeah, and that was like first instinct at that point. It was like, well, that was the only one we liked, so duh.
Or it was the only one we didn't hate.
Right.
And, well, and then, you know, at some point when you're coming up with a band name, you're like, you have to just admit to yourself that like, everything's gonna feel weird until you just live in it for a little while.
Yeah.
So in your videos, you've got a lot of stuff going on with like the Muppets, and then I saw one where you did an acoustic sort of performance, and then you also got the country one where you're around New York City. Would you say that that's just like defines the personality of the band, always trying to keep it fresh and always trying to do something unpredictable?
I think just thinking backwards from being on tape, whenever we're being videotaped, we have an opportunity to be more dynamic and have a bigger range of like what we want to communicate about ourselves as people and as a band, and also what kind of music we make. Goofy puppet video one day, and then the other day just doing a really like, you know, simple acoustic performance on tape, I think is like, yeah, is totally like a reflection of like who we are.
So who would you say have been some of your musical influences, or a band that you've been compared to?
It's kind of easier to pick like two artists that are far apart and somewhere in the middle you can like illustrate in your own mind. We sound a little bit like Yeah Yeah Yeahs meets, you know, like 1970s like Neil Young with like harmonies and stuff.
We were all raised with influences that were really kind of different and eclectic. You know, I'd be listening to my parents' record collection. It would be anything from Judy Collins to the Beatles to then classical music, certain jazz. You'd just sort of be listening to everything.
We all kind of were suckers for like older music. I think we really dug like Joni Mitchell and the Beatles and like old stuff, and that's kind of like what's stuck with us, and you can still hear that in our music.
And I mean, Heather's not speaking, but her influence exclusively was Gregorian throat singing. She didn't listen to anything else, so that's kind of, so we have a lot of that in our music too.
Where are you from if you're Gregorian? Are you from Greg's house?
Yeah, Greg's house. You know, the Greg's House Singers. Hello.
So outside of music, do you guys hang out together a lot, or what kinds of interests and stuff do the Spring Standards do when they're not recording?
Believe it or not, when we live in New York, it's still a bit too hustle and bustle of a city for us to live here and not find some way to like occupy our time making money, as well as with, you know, the band, which makes us, of course, millions and billions and trillions of dollars.
Gazillions.
To make billions and trillions plus one, we have to work other jobs and stuff, and so like, for instance, today I'm doing a moving job. James probably would be working down at he's a bouncer down
selling toothpicks.
Yeah,
as a bouncer.
And you know, Heather works at a restaurant, babysits. There's always like moments where we just have to blow off steam and just not do stuff. And those are the moments that are like after a show when we're all going back to the same place, and it's like big blowout party, or like we go to like a we do like a day trip or or we go to like when we're on the road, like if we have a day off, we go to like a park, or maybe eventually we'll have to find like a country house.
A country.
Yeah.
So in a perfect situation, what would you see being the future for the Spring Standards? Do you guys want to stay together, or is it your dream to have the country house in Nashville, or stay in New York? What are your plans?
I don't think that we're the kind of band that dreams about, you know, superstardom or any kind of, you know, celebrity status where you can't walk into your cafe in your neighborhood and sit down and just be normal. Ideally, you know, I think that the music industry will figure out how it can support its contributors and musicians again in a way that lets, you know, making music be the kind of lifestyle that's sustainable, like being a doctor, being a teacher, like being an artist should be valued. We're doing it to share with other people what we have to give. And it'd be an absolute dream to just have a modest, sustainable life as a result of that, and that life allowing us to keep doing what we do. We take it really seriously and we love it.
I want to be able to go to the food co-op and not have like a limited, tiny amount of money to spend. I want to go in there and be like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat whatever I want. Oh, I probably shouldn't say food.
That's Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm listening to this crazy interview. We appreciate it. The Spring Standards are here for you.
It's true. We're here for you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to us.
Thanks, guys. This is Allie with the Tap Music.